You are now listening to the voice of horror.
Lock your doors, bolt your windows, and turn off the lights. Make sure the kids are safe at home, cause you're heading to the Nightwatch zone.
Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, Slasher Movie Club, Monday nights. I'm here, special guest, Neil from Neon Black Reviews, one of the inner circle, the OGs, old school from the beginning. Man, I'm so glad you're able to jump on here tonight. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Coriander's not here tonight, but sends her best, and we will be talking about Sick from 2023. And who would have thought, man, this was a movie that was on my radar, but I didn't get a chance to see it when it first dropped. And I'm just so glad that we got a chance to do it. We did a little watch party for it. And I'm sorry, I said 2023. I mean 2022. But anyways, but written by Kevin Williamson, directed by John Hyams, I believe it is. And it's a really, really interesting slasher. So we're gonna get into that in just a second. Real quick in the chat, let's see who we have. What's up, Dan? He says, put your mask on and hit the like button, then use the hand sanitizer. I like that. Dan's been on a roll, man. Right? Hey, man, this movie brought back some memories. That's for sure.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. What's up, Val? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Jason's in the chat. And Val says, I missed the watch party last night, so I watched it this morning. There you go.
Oh, good.
There you go. Good. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun. And Val saying, sorry, I missed it. Was visiting my hubby in the hospital. Oh, geez, Val, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope he's doing okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Well, sending a lot of love your way. Ronan, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Philip's in the chat too. What's up? Good to see you. Foreign Horror and More. What's up, man? Two guys with two great channels. Thanks, man. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. And of course, by the way, as always, and you guys should know the drill by now, but if you haven't subscribed to Neil's channel, Neon Black Reviews, please do that. I'm sure Val put a link in the chat. I've got the link in the description. So you guys know the rules. What's up, Kay? Good to see you. Let's see. All right. He says, hola. All right. So Neil, let's get into this thing, man. Any opening thoughts about this movie? Because I have a ton right off the bat. It was just bringing me back memories. What were your thoughts?
Well, I watched it, I guess, on Peacock right when it came out, and I'd heard a little bit about it, but I didn't know, what was going to happen in the movie. I knew that it was a slasher. I knew it was written by Kevin Williamson, so high expectations there, obviously.
Right.
And I knew that it was going to be set in the world of the pandemic. So I was like, okay, well, let's see what Kevin Williamson can do with this. So, yeah, I was definitely looking forward to it, and I think I can honestly say I was not disappointed in what I saw. So I definitely enjoyed it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it definitely was bringing back memories, man. I mean, it starts off of all places in the in the supermarket, and this was, and I'm going to bring up the images too. This was this was classic Kevin Williamson, I mean, you've got someone in the supermarket, which, by the way, you got the mask on, you saw the lines on the floor as far as where to stand and where to walk, the direction. So you got this character Tyler, who, he's just in the supermarket. He's getting a text. So instead of a call a la Scream or something like that, he's getting text messages. But I think this was really well, this opening scene. And it obviously goes into when he goes back to his apartment and he's wiping off the cereal with the sanitizer wipes. It's like, bro, we were doing that stuff. We really were. It's crazy. But the movie, I guess what I'm saying is the movie was very effective to illustrate not only that time period, but really, make you connect to it because certain things like this really spoke loudly to me, and the supermarket was a scary place for a little while. It truly was. Um, oh, and real quick in the chat, man, we got some more people jumping in. Hey to everyone jumping in. Good to see you guys. And Val's got Neil's link in the chat, so definitely hit the link and subscribe to Neil's channel.
Thank you, Val. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Eric's in the chat saying I really, really enjoyed it. All right. And Eric actually said he enjoyed it even more the second and third time. So that was an interesting take too. I know Steven, a good friend from Craving Something Scary, he said the same thing on his second watch, which was with us last night. He said he enjoyed it even more. So very, very cool. Yeah. Jason saying it brought back memories of the quarantine. Yes, indeed. Really did. But let's talk about this opening attack, man. This opening attack. First of all, I just want to say that it was very aggressive. There was a lot of intensity in it. What did you think of this opening attack on Tyler?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. It was well executed. It was well done. The thing I noticed right off the bat is we've got another very human killer. We're not talking about some, supernatural psychopath. We're talking about just a guy wearing a mask, running around trying to, stab somebody with a knife. This guy fights back. This guy fights back really damn well.
Yeah.
And it wasn't looking so good, for our killer here in the opening scene, but obviously
that's right.
He got the better of him at the end. And I like the kill as well. It just showed me right off the bat, this might be a bloody little film. So definitely looking forward to seeing the rest after this opening scene.
Agreed. Yeah, that kill when he finally got the best of Tyler, which of course, and I love it. And Kevin is so good at this type of stuff. But you're right. Tyler was able to kind of overcome the killer, in the moment and kind of show back and forth, which I think adds to the tension, and I really enjoyed that. And then, of course, when he thought that it was all over and he goes to the door because the door is open, he's looking out in the hallway, and just the timing and the camera work in this movie was really, really sharp. And of course the killer appears right there behind him, kills him, and it's like, wow, what an opening. And then it just goes to the title card. Sick. It was very very effective, man. Very, very effective. Let me just jump to the chat as well real quick to catch up with these guys because I know they have a lot to talk about here. We got our good friend Sarah's in the chat. Hey Sarah, good to see you.
Hey, Sarah.
And Sarah is gifting memberships. Wow. Thank you thank you so much, Sarah. You are all right. I hope you're doing well. She's gifting out a membership. Looks like Denisha got gifted one, and also Philip. Thank you so much, Sarah. That's so kind of you. Seriously, it really is, and we appreciate you so much. You know that. Thank you. And we miss you too. But yeah, it was really, really intense, this scene. So when it goes to the title card, it's kind of like, wow, if that's the beginning, then what are we in for? What are we in for?
Exactly.
And we don't wait long to find out. And I think that was great too, man. It's like, it just hits the ground and it starts running. And you've got obviously our main characters, Parker and her friend Miri, and they're getting ready to go on this little weekend quarantine getaway type of thing, just the two of them. And again, we've got this whole thing with the texting and the mask. I thought this was a really cool scene because Miri is all about protection. She's like, you got to mask up. And it's like, but but it made her character seem, a little bit more multidimensional, because she talked about how she can't get sick because she's worried about her father, because her father doesn't have great health. And it really
Right.
rang true to me, man, because I remember, dealing with that myself, is making sure I didn't get sick, so I didn't get anyone sick, but especially family members. But it was a really good introduction. But Neil, I got to tell you, bro, look where they're going. They are they're going
Looks like West
nowhere.
Virginia.
Right? That's what we were dude, that's so funny. When we were watching it last night, I can't remember if it was Eric or Steven, or maybe it was me, but I said, "Bro, this looks like we're going back to Wrong Turn. What's going on?" And this was not on purpose, to
Yeah.
have these two movies back to back, but it's seriously the same type of setup. It's like, look, it's beautiful, and where they go is beautiful, but people,
Hmm.
please, please don't go to such a remote location. I'm telling you. And they have this is a compound. That's what this is. This isn't like a weekend log cabin. This is a compound. And so obviously we realized that Parker's family is very well off, but
Yeah.
holy crap, man.
That's the nicest log cabin I have ever seen.
Yeah, it's like, man, you could get lost in that thing. And of course, once we get inside of it and we see just how huge it was absolutely crazy, man. Um, Jason, I agree. The killer was very strong, and the way that the attacks were happening, um, very effective, very effective. Sarah saying, "Hey friends, what's going on, Sarah? Good to see you. Good to see you." Jason Dyer's in the chat. What's going on? Jennifer's in the chat. Good to see all of you guys. You guys are all right. Um, Dan. Whoa, I fell asleep, but we didn't start yet. What? Wake up, Dan.
He was just in the chat 5 minutes ago. What? Come on, Dan.
I know, I know. But the other thing I thought was really cool, and not we won't jump ahead to the end yet, but these text messages, they were really well done as far as, having fun. You test it yet? It totally sounds like it would be a peer of Parker or Miri, you know what I'm saying? And just
Yeah.
ratcheting up that tension.
And along those lines too, I'm just going to point this out
Mm-hmm.
because it seems to be a trend with the more recent films that I've seen where somebody is texting. Because I mean, that's a thing now. It's in
Right.
movies all the time now. They're starting to put the chat up on the screen instead of you having to try to read it off the person's phone.
Right.
And I swear to God, man, it makes it so much easier to tell what's going on. Because used to, when they first started doing it, it's like, I can't read that fucking phone. It's too small.
That's right.
So they putting up chat bubbles now, so us old folks can actually read and understand what's going on. So
That's
yeah,
right. That's right, man. They finally realized that we want to enjoy these movies too, man. It's crazy, man. Val saying they went to the middle of frickin' nowhere, and we all
yes, they
know
did.
that is not a good thing. Exactly, man. Exactly. Ronan said, "Where'd they go? To the Dutton Ranch from Yellowstone?" That's a good one, man. Uh, Jason, he said the ranch was not as big as Michael Myers' basement in Halloween Resurrection. That's true, man. That is so true. It was like a mini town underneath the Myers house in that movie. It's crazy stuff, man. Um, Jason loving the texting too. Yeah, it was good, man. But the thing of it is, you've got these two young ladies. They're chilling out. Look at this lake, man. They are truly alone. They did explain that the nearest neighbor, I think she said, was a mile away or something like
Yeah,
that.
a mile or two or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
So
not
they
going to
got
run there very fast.
right, right. So they definitely did acknowledge the fact that they're very remote. Um, and again, it's just pretty cool. You're just getting to know these two characters. They seem like really, good friends and so forth. But look at that door, man. The door is open. It's like, lock the doors. Lock the doors. You got 10,000 windows, no curtains. You're not locking doors. You are just asking for it. You really, really are, man. Um, Eric said it was 2 miles away. Okay, yeah, 2
Mm.
miles. 2 miles too many, that's for sure. Um, but they do all the good things to really bring you back, man. They're watching CNN, of course, little Anderson Cooper and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, this is really painting a very accurate picture of how things were. And I actually knew some folks that did this type of stuff. They kind of go away and quarantine and use it as vacation time and stuff like that. So this was very timely, man. It really, really was. But
Yeah,
our
they
our
playing the Fauci drinking game.
yes, yes, that's yes. It was crazy, man. It was like, all right. Uh Fauci's still probably trying to catch up on rest after all the stuff that he had to deal with. But our first big scene is the knock at the door, man. What did you think about this scene as far as, was it effective? Did you have a sense of what was going to happen?
Uh, Kinda. I mean, you watch enough horror movies. I mean, you know that the killer never just knocks on the door.
Mhm.
So at
Yeah.
first I was not. I wasn't worried. I was like, they're overreacting. They're just being scared. But the
Mhm.
scene played out so long, and then I
Yeah.
remember who wrote it, and I was like, okay, well, hold on a second. Something may actually happen here.
Good
So it
point.
kind of it kind of played out long enough that I started second guessing myself. So yeah, I
Mm.
actually ended up thinking it was a very well done scene. So
Yeah.
it was something that you see a lot of, but it was still just different enough to make you realize that it's just not the same old that you're watching here. So I
Right.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, good point. The way it's set up, and again, the camera work. I love the camera was so cool, man. They had a couple of times where you had, this type of shot where Parker or Miri would be in the forefront, and then the back would
Hmm.
be another person and stuff. And it just looks good. It's well done. It truly is from A to Z. It's really well presented. But man, when she walked outside, I was like, "Are you freaking serious?" It was like one of the few times that she was doing something freaking stupid, but come to
Stupid.
find yeah, but come to find out it was the false alarm that we thought it was, because it's her friend DJ and they're kind of you know together but not together, and he wants to have more of a solid relationship and she's more standoffish. So that kind of, they played with that little plot thread a little bit. It wasn't overwhelming. It didn't go into a annoying level. It was just there to kind of give us a sense of him, because he's crashing their party. Basically, he was not invited. And so
Yeah.
you're already thinking, well, hey, is he the one? He could be he's the red herring. So no doubt about that. It was a pretty effective scene. He was knocking on that door loud too, like like angry loud. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom,
Well,
boom.
to be honest with you, I was thinking they need another body because this is a
Yes.
slasher. So that was really, it's like, okay, well, they got somebody else here. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see what happens. And there's more to say about that later on, too, with the actual kill count in this film. So
Yeah,
hopefully I won't
absolutely.
forget that once we get into the spoilers.
Yeah, yeah. Jason saying the contrast between the two characters was nice, super careful and self-aware, which was Miri, pandemic wise, and the other not so much. The doors being open all the time drove me nuts. It did, man. It's no doubt about it, man. Um, Ronan is staying prepared, saying I keep a good few months of food that can be eaten out of the can without a heating source, and a few months of water in my place now since COVID. There you go. There you go. We got Steven in the chat for Craving Something Scary. What's up, Steven? It
Hey,
was a
Steven.
blast. Good to see you, man. Saying really like this movie. Highly recommend everyone watching this one. There you go, man. We had some fun, man. We really did. We got SPC in the chat saying, "Hey, Nightwatch, what's going on? Good to see you. Welcome to the chat." SPC Unleashed. I don't think I've seen you in the live chat before, but welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
Jamie,
Welcome.
what's up, Jamie? Good to see you too.
Hey,
You too.
Jamie.
All right. Um, but let's keep going here, man. We basically get to the scenes where they're winding down. They did their little partying and they were doing their little dance rave where they're spraying disinfectant spray. And I'm like, but it as wacky as it sounds to even say it, it made sense in the movie and it made sense, for the characters and obviously these being younger folks and stuff like that. Um, but it's time to go to bed. And man, I'm telling you, there were some good moments here. Here we go again with that whole camera work right there, because Parker has no idea that the killer is inside. How could she? How could she know? That place is so big. The place is so huge. When they showed her walking through the hallways, it's like she needed a road map. That's how big this place is. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so we're just waiting to see what happens. And we have that scene right here. He goes into the bedrooms. I thought, I'm gonna be honest with you. At this point, I was a little curious. I was like, well, why doesn't he just kill her right then and there? Did that cross your mind?
It did.
Hmm.
Because again, this is a slasher film, so I'm used to the killer just going about business. It's like, okay, here's victim number one, here's victim number two. You
Mm,
get a little cat and mouse sometimes, but there's not a whole lot of room for that, especially right here at the moment. I mean, the girl is
right.
asleep in bed.
That's right.
So it did make me wonder. It's like, what's this guy's deal? But like we're saying, when you get to the end, everything starts to make sense. And
Yeah,
yeah, so I was a little confused at
yeah,
the start. Well, the first time I watched it, I was like, yeah, he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, so it kind of threw me
right.
off a little bit.
Right, definitely. No doubt. I was just like, okay, there's your chance. What are you doing? But instead, he took the phones. He took which was
Yeah,
smart. Took the phones, and then they started playing. And I know Steven loves it. Started playing Erasure on the big speakers, and waking everybody up. And I was just like, oh, this is a villain. This is a killer that has a plan. You know what I mean? So but again, the characters were pretty smart. DJ's like, someone's in the house, let's get the F out of here. And they get outside, and I'm like, okay, so they're doing smart stuff. But they realize that Miri is still in the house. You've got that scene where Parker can see, yeah, this right here, where she can see the killer
yeah,
inside. And it's like, oh crap. And DJ's like, well, I'll go get her. And of course, then he has to fight with the killer. And that led to a really, really good fight scene, which we'll talk about in a second. But real quick, um, let's see. SBC saying, nope, first time. Well, all right, welcome. Been watching the Halloween videos and love them. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that. I'm glad that you've been enjoying them. Seriously. And again, welcome to this community. It's a really fun place. Jason saying the tension builds were phenomenal. I agree. They really did, stretch out that tension, like you said earlier, Neil. You'd
hmm
think that the rhythm would be cut, and they just go on a little bit longer.
yeah.
Um I was definitely confused at the start, but the killer's next move was bone chilling. Yeah, man, we got to talk about this fight that DJ had with the killer. What did you think of that fight? And then, of course, what happened with DJ?
Well, I mean, it was good. I mean, again, it's one of those. I don't want to keep comparing this movie to Scream,
Right.
but I mean, there's a lot of very familiar elements in it, where
True.
this killer is very human. I mean, I could see them overpowering this killer. Although, at least at this point in the film, I was like, the script's not going to call for that. You can't kill the killer, 30 minutes into the movie.
That's right.
But I mean, just the way that they go back and forth. I mean, it's a knockdown, drag out fight, and then
Mm-hmm.
the way that it ends, um,
Yeah.
it's a camera perspective thing. You're seeing one thing, and then you get a little like shot down at his feet, and you see his feet when he's walking, and you're like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? And then you realize
Yeah.
what is going on, and it's like, oh shit, that was cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so guys, we're definitely in big spoiler territory here, but this kill to me was really good because, like you said, they played with our minds quite a bit with the camera work, because you see his feet
hmm
moving in a way that just doesn't make sense at all. But then you realize that he is a puppet. He is a puppet. I mean, this was crazy. When we saw this last night, we were all like, "Oh my gosh, man." And it goes on a little bit further than that, but the fact that he was being walked out of the house by the killer with a
Yeah.
friggin' spear in his back, it was really really effective. And again, pretty creative. I mean, we talked about this last night on the watch party as well. You know, in a slasher movie, it's hard to do anything that's fresh or new. You
Yeah.
know, it truly is. So anytime I see something that at least has a little bit of freshness to it, I get a little giddy. I'm like, wow, good for you guys, you know. And I think Kevin um did a hell of a job with a lot of things in this movie, just to give you something that is a little new, you know, something that you don't
Yeah.
necessarily expect. But obviously, Parker and Miri are like, we got to get the fuck out of here, man. So they do. They don't notice that the car has a flat tire. So, of course, they can't get very far. And I'm thinking, how did the killer move that fast? I think I said that 2 or 3 times last night. And I was like, how did he get out there to I mean, he's very, very fast, right? And but we find out the reason why. Um Val, thank you for putting the playlist in the chat. That's definitely a very big playlist. We're talking about Halloween.
Oh
Ronan
yeah.
saying, I can't wait to watch this tonight at some point. Yeah, Ronan, I definitely would like to hear what you think about it. But also to let you know, we are talking spoilers. So
Yeah.
be warned. SPC saying, thank you for the warm welcome. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we enjoy having anyone new jump in here with us and hang out. Um, Jason saying DJ's Kill blew me away. In all my life of watching slashers, this one was out of this world. It was pretty gnarly. It really, really was. So now they got to run back to the house because the killer's right there, and the killer is freaking fast, man. So
Mhm.
back to the house, up the stairs, probably 2 or 3 flights of stairs, and they go into like this attic type of place. And Parker's telling Miri, "Hey, I've done this when I was a kid. Just trust me, follow me, and this and that." So of course, I knew what they were going to do, man. They walked out of the
Oh yeah.
window, broke the window. They're on the freaking, side of the house. Miri gets attacked. That was pretty. The timing of that was pretty cool. And then poor Miri, man. I mean, look. We've seen a lot of people jump out of windows. Trish in Friday 4. Um, what's her name? Kara in Halloween 6. But this was a real fall. Like, holy crap. I thought there was no way in the world that it would have played out the way it played. But in that moment, she's out of the game. She's out. And then, of course, we have that. I thought it was a great scene where Parker had to defend herself in the kitchen. And she
Mhm.
really, this chick, she didn't play around, man. What did you think of like this, but also what it said about her as a character? I think this kind of defined her in the movie at this point.
I mean, this was brutal. I mean,
Mm,
what is that? Is that like a wine chiller that she's
some
hitting him with? Yeah,
yeah,
you put like wine bottles down in it with the ice or
that's
whatever.
yeah.
I mean, whatever it is, it was solid. And
Mm-hmm.
she hit him once, she hit him twice, and then she stopped, and then she thought about it and said, "I'm going to hit you again." I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it was just like it just wouldn't stop. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, it shows that that she's got some survival instincts too. She's
Yeah.
not just gonna sit back and let it happen. May jump ahead a little bit here, but she's already proved once she'll go back for her friend because she
Yes.
was the one that reminded DJ, hey, Mary's still up there. And she does this a couple of times in the film where she doesn't just run,
Mm-hmm.
when she could have. She's there for her friend.
That's
So
right.
yeah, this is one of those characters that I had a little bit more respect for at the end of the film than I did at the beginning. So
Mm.
yeah.
That's a good point. I totally agree with that. It was one of those things where she was a character that grew on me. Not that I had a big issue with her in the beginning, but she definitely showed spunk, man, and it
Mhm.
was really, really cool to see that, as the movie went on. She showed that she was selfless, and she showed that she was not going to just lay down and be a victim, man. But here's the twist, buddy. I listen, guys, and again, this is all spoilers, guys. she's killing the killer, and then all of a sudden, as she's kind of gathering herself, a killer comes into the house. And I'm like, son of a bitch, man. Because seriously, there was like at least 2 or 3 scenes where I was thinking, how is it possible for the killer to be that fast? You know what I mean? And I think
Absolutely.
yeah, and I think the pace of the movie was so good and just kind of boom, 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 boom. It kept going that I honestly didn't sit back and think to myself, there's got to be more than one. I just didn't.
Yeah.
Now, I'm looking at it like, well, geez, I should have seen that. But anyways, we've got 2 killers, bro. And I was like, nice. And this is still like halfway through this is not even halfway through the movie. So
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes in. Well, this movie's only like 80 minutes long. It's actually a really short film.
it is. You're right.
But yeah, we're still about the halfway mark, give or take.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, man, they're just starting to ramp up. It's absolutely crazy. Katie's in the chat. What's up, Katie? Good to see you. Hope
Hey,
you
Katie.
are doing well. Yeah. Val said Parker did a triple tap just to make sure. Yes, she did. She didn't want to play, man. Jason saying the second killer death was so brutal. Parker turned out to be such an incredible character. I had a lot of respect for her. The twist was so awesome. Yeah. I mean, this was just, it was really, really cool. We got 2 killers. It makes sense. And yeah. So here's the thing. Miri's alive. And I'm thinking, that's cool. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't expect it because that was a really hard fall. But she broke her leg. She's totally or mostly immobile at this point. But Parker was smart and said, play dead. Because the killer was inside of the house when Parker came out to check on Miri and covered her up a little bit and said, play dead, which was smart. That's the only thing that Miri could do at that point. And it was a really tense moment because the killer comes up to Miri to double check on her and probably would have found out that she was alive if Parker didn't make noise to get the attention of the killer. And again, one of these scenes where you've got, that foreground and the background thing going on. It looks absolutely amazing. Tension was high, man. The tension was high. Now, let's get to another favorite scene of mine, and that's the raft scene. The raft, and I'm not talking about Creepshow 2, but I love that segment in Creepshow 2. This was awesome. This was awesome. It was, again, smart. Parker is like, I gotta get the hell out of here. She's running. She jumps onto this thing. She's paddling away from the dock. Looks like she's gonna be safe. I'm thinking, all right, the only thing that can attack her right now is Jason under the water. What did you think of this scene?
I mean, I knew something was going to happen. I mean, she's just not going to float out into the middle of the lake and, the movie's done. I mean, something's got to happen. But I mean, yeah, it is. I was definitely reminded of Creepshow 2. Just like, yeah, I've seen this before. Don't put your feet across the cracks.
That's right. Oh my God, man.
That's what I was thinking. It's like stand on the boards, but yeah, I mean, it was it was kind of predictable what was going to happen. I mean, the killer was obviously going to swim out there to her. But again, it's just the way that it's executed, though. It's like it's like a Nolan Ryan fastball. It's coming, but you still can't hit it. I mean, it's just it still kind of catches you off guard because it's not doing anything with the score or anything in the background to kind of give you a hint when it's going to happen. So when it happens, you don't know if he's coming over the side. No, we get a knife just straight up, through the crack there. So still, it's stuff we've seen before, but they're putting it together just a little different, to just make it feel like it's something relatively new. So this film does it just from beginning to end. So
it really does, man. It kept you on your toes, man. It kept you on your toes each time. And I remember reading that the director wasn't really big about doing a slasher film, but when he read the script and I guess spoke with Kevin about it, the idea of this movie was it's almost like you have a first act, but you don't really have a second act. It kind of just goes right into the third act as far as this huge chase for the whole second half of the film. Once we are in the kitchen with Parker, it's like boom, and and the reveal is that there's 2 killers. or there was two killers.
Yeah.
It's just basically balls to the wall all the way to the end. And I think it that's part of what made it feel lean and mean, but also a little fresh as well. Because instead of this killer stalking a bunch of victims and killing them one by one, we had a smaller character count, but these two characters were put in it, over and over again, trying to figure out ways to evade, to fight back, to be smart or make smart decisions. And I think that was pretty cool. I really, really
Mhm.
do. It made this movie stand out. But as we get to near the end of this thing, Parker tries to go into her neighbor's house. Her neighbor obviously doesn't really remember her as a child, but then it's like, oh, okay, you're so and so's kid, blah, blah, blah. And then boom, as soon as that happens, the killer's right there, kills the neighbor. I'm like, shit, man. This is, again, the pacing of this was like
Yeah.
just boom, boom, boom.
She can't catch a break either. I mean, it's just,
She
yeah.
can't. No.
It's like the guy turns around and then boom, there it is. It's just like,
Yeah.
wow, we didn't even get to. I don't think he was on screen for more than 30 seconds.
That's right. That's right,
I
man.
mean, it's just like,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
so much
man.
for hope.
I know, man. Real quick too, Wesley's in the chat saying, hope everyone's having a great day. Hope you are too, man. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Jennifer saying the raft got me. It was crazy suspenseful. I agree, man. I think that was for me, I think that was the standout sequence. It was really, really awesome. It really, really was. Jason also saying the raft scene was one of my favorites as well. I kept on screaming at my laptop, dive, girl, swim like you've never swam before. Right? I was thinking that too, man. Oh, man. You're welcome, Wesley. You're welcome. But meanwhile, while Parker's dealing with that and the neighbor gets killed, you've got Miri who was trying to walk back in the house. And originally I'm thinking, don't do that. Just keep playing dead. You'll stay alive. But this was cool, man. Just showing resiliency because she breaks up that stool and she makes a splint for her leg. And I was like,
Yeah, with
wow,
saran wrap.
with saran wrap. It's
That stuff is surprisingly strong if you wrap the whole roll around your leg. I mean, yeah.
Yes, man. So she was very smart. It was good to see. It was good to see these ladies being intelligent, man. It really, really was.
Yeah, and I think they said at the beginning of the film that she was a healthcare worker of some type.
That's right. That's right. Yep, absolutely. And real quick, Denisha has a anniversary, 9-month anniversary. Thank you so much, Denisha, a member for 9 months of the channel, big supporter, obviously, helping out with moderating as well. Saying, she said, hey, Night, enjoying the 9 months, love Slasher Movie Club and the watch party, milestone, and many more. Love you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you, Denisha. Seriously, we appreciate you so much. But while Miri's trying to get herself back together, another big scene. This movie had like 3 twists in it. It was really, really
Yeah, it
effective. It kept ramping it up, man. I think that's what makes it very effective. You got that car that's coming down a road that leads to nowhere. So first of all, why is this car coming down this road in the middle of the night? But Parker's doing what any of us would have done, trying to, flag the car down. It's a lady with a mask on. It's like, where's your mask? Are you sick? Blah, blah, blah. And dude, this played into the whole pandemic paranoia because this is how people were. Hell, I was like this. Tell me, when you first saw this, Neil, tell me first of all, what you thought of this scene, and did that speak to you as well? Because I know I was like that during the pandemic too, man.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it was like, well, for a while, watching this movie, I kind of forgot it's in the middle of the pandemic. You kind of forgot all of that, once the shit hits the fan. But this
That's
woman
right.
pulls up and she's like, "Where's your mask?" I was like, "Oh my fucking god, are you serious?"
Right?
I was like, "Are you kidding me? Are you serious?" Oh yeah, and then yeah, my mind kind of caught up to it, and I was just like, okay, yeah, something's not right here. This woman could possibly be doing this for real. But yeah, we
Right.
find out we find out twist number 3 in this film.
Yeah. It's crazy stuff, man. And they had the chloroform on the mask, so Parker gets knocked out, and then they're coming back to the house, and Miri, I know she's probably thinking, what the hell? Can I catch a break? Because she's obviously hobbled. So then we get into this big, interrogation scene. They're doing the COVID test and everything, which that brought back some nightmares for me. It's like, holy crap. When we were watching this, Steven was like, okay, don't go that far up her nose. It was just, oh my God, man. But then the scene was intense, and basically you have the whole reveal at play. What happens is that you've got this lady saying, hey, do you remember that party that you went to, and that guy you were hanging out with? Why'd you do that? And it's like trying to, it's baiting you along. And Parker's just like, hey, we just hung out. It's no big deal, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, where was your mask? And Parker is like, I'm not sick. And then she shows her the test results. Yeah, you are positive. You're asymptomatic. And I was like, oh no. As soon as that happened, I knew, man. So these were the parents of that guy that Parker was hanging out with. She gave him COVID and he passed away in the hospital. It's like, oh man. Like, talk about, I don't know, man. You tell me what you think. For me, I think it's pretty crafty, pretty intelligent to tie it into a real world thing. I mean, I'm not saying that no one else could have done this, but hey, these are the people that did it, Kevin and John and these filmmakers. I just think it was spot on, because to a degree you understand the parents and their grief,
Yeah, I mean, and that's just how I feel about this, this film in general, is that, it's taking something that is, recent. I mean, when this film came out, I mean, the pandemic was, just a few weeks ago. I mean, it was
Yeah.
not, something that was, that we tell our grandkids, I remember back when we used to have to wear the mask.
That's right.
This is something that is recent, but they're putting it into a horror setting, and
Yes.
it's a believable setting. I mean, with all the crazy shit that happens in this world today, you
Yeah.
want to tell me that this couldn't happen?
That's right.
But it's also bringing some of the other things about the pandemic. It's kind of bringing them to the forefront too, because the only reason that they were able to do this was because of the contact tracing.
Yes, that's right.
And that was a whole big thing. People were like, well, why wouldn't you want to know? And everybody's like, it's my privacy. You're not supposed to know that information because it's none of your business. And people's like, well, it helps. And people's like, well, until somebody that wants to use it for some evil purpose. And everybody always like, well, what evil purpose are they going to use it for? Well, this right here.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I mean, but it's
point.
not making a judgment. It's just saying it. And you can think about it what you want, which is, again, these are the kind of horror films that I like, where they take stuff that's relevant and they don't say one way or the other. They just present it. They put it into a horror story, and you can think of it what you want. It's up to you to draw your conclusions. So that's the thing that I like about it is, even though it is set in the pandemic and it accurately represents, what was going on, like we've been saying all night. I remember that. I remember that going on. I remember myself doing that. But they're not making any judgments on it. They're just saying, hey, this is how it was. And,
right.
And here's a horror story.
Yeah.
Have fun with it, because at the end of the day, it is just a movie. I mean, I don't know that there's any real world occurrences of this actually happening, but again, it was a pretty smart idea. It was very well written, and they disguised the ending of this film very well.
Yes. You're right. They really did. And they weren't preachy about it either, man. They weren't preachy about it, which I thought was cool as well. And that's a fine line to walk. And I think they did a fantastic job with that. Jennifer thought that she loved this scene. It was wild. I totally didn't see the twist at all. because I was yelling at the lady to help. It was great. It was great. Um, and Jason also loving the motive. Yeah, I think it was really, really good. It made sense, man. But the thing of it is that you still got Miri in the background, and she pulls a 3-pointer at the buzzer and hits Pamela over the head. By the way, shout out to Kevin, because Kevin is a big fan of the old school slashers. So the mother's name is Pamela. The husband's name is Jason. Okay, so we know what they were doing. I love it. I love it. But another great kill, man, is when Jason was chasing the ladies upstairs, and again they were showing their resiliency. Hacking off at his ankle, and then Parker is spraying him with the disinfectant spray in his eyes, and then pushing him over the edge of the stairway, and boom, landing on the antlers. Man, that was just really well done. Gory as hell. So the ladies got to get out of here. That's what I'm waiting for too. And they go into the barn to use one of the four-wheel vehicles, and then sure as hell, just when you thought, and the barn is away from the house too, man.
Yeah.
Because it's like, again, just the timing and the rhythm. Pamela comes back. They truly have, to me, and I could be wrong, but I think it was kind of an homage to Friday the 13th, because it was kind of like a cat fight with Pamela and
Mhm.
Parker. You know what I mean? Just kind of going at each other, kind of like it was in the original Friday with Mrs. Voorhees and Alice. But the difference is this time Parker has a friend and lights the match. And wow, man, this fire burn scene was pretty crazy, because not only did the camera stay on it, but it went for a little while as she ran
Yeah.
outside of the house and eventually just collapsed, man. But what a movie, man. And it just ends with the two friends. They survived holding hands. I also thought that was a cool thing too. They held hands. And again, if you remember in the pandemic, a lot of people, they didn't even want contact. Everybody was doing the
Right.
elbows and stuff. So this movie, look, I'm not saying this movie changed the world or anything. It's not the
Oh
greatest thing
no.
of all time, but I do think it was very smart, and it really checked a lot of boxes, not only as a slasher movie, but just what it was trying to say without being preachy, man. So, well done for these guys. Well done.
Yeah.
Um, Val saying he took the fears most were feeling during that time and brought them to the big screen. True, very true. There's no doubt about that. This movie, my God, did a really. I was having visions again. I was like, yep, that's what I was doing too, man. And Val has been amazing, putting Neil's link in the chat multiple times. So definitely, again, for you guys that just come in, if you haven't subscribed to Neil's channel, please do so. Hit the link. It just takes 1 second to do that. So
Yep. Appreciate you guys doing that.
yeah, absolutely. Jason saying, I agree with you, Knight. Awesome Friday 13th homage. The final scene was incredible. It truly was, man. It truly was. Yeah, definitely, guys. Make sure you guys check out Neil's channel. It's a fun channel. He's always fun to talk to with movies. I and I've said this to you before, but there are a lot of times when I listen to you review, I like to do it when I'm just, you know, like either doing like a walk. Like sometimes when I take walks and stuff, I'll just have you on, because you like to go through the movies, like really the details of it, and then of course giving your viewpoints. So that's why I always enjoy watching. I've always enjoyed watching your content. So
No, appreciate that.
yeah,
Really did.
yeah, man, absolutely. Um, all right. So yeah, so that was the ending, guys, and it was really fun. As usual, we're gonna give this thing a grade. We've got our badge system. And and I know if Coriander's watching, she's thinking, I want to give it half a badge here and there. But we've got the 4 badges, meaning that it's excellent. You loved it. It's worth buying. We've got 3 badges, meaning that it's good. We've got 2, meaning that it's okay. You could take it or leave it. You could chance it if you want to, but if not, you're not missing anything. And then, of course, we've got the dreaded 1 badge, meaning that it's horrible, dark territory, aka don't go in the woods alone, aka blood cult, aka good night, God bless, aka student bodies, aka quite a few other ones that we've reviewed in this Slasher Movie Club series. So, Neil, what would you give Sick for a rating?
I give it a 4.
All right. All right. Cool.
And Well, I guess since this is a Peacock original film, it is not available on physical media. But if it was, I would recommend buying it.
Yeah. All right. Very, very cool. Um, I don't want to necessarily speak for Coriander, but I have a feeling she might give it a 4 as well. She definitely would give it a 3. She really enjoyed this movie. We all did when we
Yeah,
watched it.
probably 3.5 if you've got a gift card
Yeah,
you could spend on it.
that's exactly what she would say. Oh man, shout out to my babe. For me, I totally agree with you, man. I got to give this thing a 4. I was so impressed with it. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I saw it. From A to Z, I enjoyed everything. They did it so well, and yeah, man, this was a memorable one. This is one I'll revisit. That's how good it
Mhm.
was. Lean, mean, good kills, good characters, gore, twists. It was just great, man. It was absolutely great. Speaking of Corey, there she is saying hello,
Oh, there she
everyone in the
is.
chat. Hi, handsome and Neil. I give this movie 4 badges. Okay. So we got the official from the woman herself, Corey Anderson. She gives it 4 badges. Awesome. I thought that she would. Very, very cool.
Yeah, it's a great
Jason's
movie.
going with 4. Yeah. Jason's going with 4. Very cool. Val saying definitely 4. It was a great movie. Tons of twists, high suspense, brutal kills, great ending. Would watch it again. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. January's in the chat. Hey, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. We're about to finish up, but definitely check the replay out if you haven't caught us from the beginning. Wesley going with 4 as well. Dan saying, guys, I'm exhausted from work, fading away fast. I'll have to catch the replay. Well, Dan, you get some rest, bro. And we appreciate you being here and hanging out with us and catching the movie and all that, man. Seriously. All right. So we both give it 4. Just as a quick recap, what we've been doing lately, just to recap our kill count. And here we go. 7. 6 male, 1 female, and 1 positive COVID test.
I'll be right back.
There, there it is, man. So yeah, the kill count. I think you said it earlier. I didn't know if the kill count would get up there, but they found a way to get it up to 7, and it felt like it was more. I think that was just because
Yeah,
all the kills were so well done.
but the other thing about it too, when you think about it, have you ever seen a slasher film? Now you got the guy at the beginning and you got the guy across the lake. They're kind of like collateral damage.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen the kill count where the number of killers dying outweighs the number of actual characters in the film?
Ooh, that's a good point. I can't recall.
Because of the 3 people in the cabin, only one of them died, and they killed 3 killers.
That's right. That's right.
Three to
Good
one.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of it like that. Absolutely, man.
I
Crazy
don't know
stuff,
that I've
man.
ever seen a movie where there were more bad guys killed than good guys in a slasher film, anyway.
Right. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was crazy. And with that being said, I think it was great, man. And I think part of that was the tension of these chases. They were so well done.
Hmm.
Actually, yeah, January was just saying that too. A good chase scene helps too. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So true, man.
And I didn't catch it the first time, but when I watched it again last night, I did. What was his name? Was it Tyler at the beginning of the film?
Yeah.
He was the guy that gave it to Parker.
Right. Yes. Yep.
And
Crazy.
the lady Pamela mentions that in that final scene that
Mm-hmm.
he's already been taken care of or something like that. So I was like, well, I guess that must have been Tyler.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. They definitely did the whole tracing thing, man. It's crazy stuff, man. But
Mhm.
a great movie. A great movie. So yeah, guys. I mean, that's what we've got for Sick. It was a really good film. If you haven't seen it, definitely a big recommend from us. Or if you haven't seen it in a little while, it's definitely a fun one. It's lean and mean, and it's got a lot of great stuff in it. It really does. Um, we will not announce our movie for next week yet. We will be doing that to you guys that are Patreon and channel members first. and then we're going to put up the stream probably before the end of the week. I want to make sure that Coriander and I both talk about the next one, because we've got a couple different ways we might go. So hopefully everyone's going to enjoy it. But we're going to do what we've usually been doing, and doing a watch party for it this weekend to watch it together before we do our next Slasher Movie Club stream. So if you are a channel member or a Patreon member, be ready for it. We're going to be doing it again. If you're not, please consider being one. Hit the join button next to the subscribe button. You can join us, and we do a lot of hangouts and streams, watch parties, and other stuff as well. So anyways, Neil, thank you so much for joining me here. It's always fun to have you. We definitely got to do this again. I know you're really busy as well, but always good to hear your thoughts on movies, because like I said, I enjoy listening to you every time you review stuff. So we're gonna have to do this again soon.
Yeah. Absolutely. I always love sitting in when I can. So always let me know.
All right. Sounds good. So guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like button. Leave us a comment. Val, thank you for putting the link up for tomorrow's stream. Our versus Battle World episode is going to be Predator versus Aliens. It's going to be crazy. I don't know how we're going to get through this one, but we're going to try tomorrow night at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. So anyways, we will catch you guys later. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Nightwatch. Peace.